My younger ex-boyfriend Ethan showed up at my door a month after our breakup. He slapped a pregnancy test in my face. "I'm pregnant. It's yours." My brain short-circuited. Since when did I have that kind of equipment? I stared at the two-line test strip. Then at Ethan's smirking face in my doorway. This felt like getting kicked in the head by a donkey. Last I checked. I'm the woman here. Since when can men get pregnant? Ethan pushed past me into the apartment, sprawling across my couch like he owned it. "Emma, you're taking responsibility for this. Otherwise I'll tell everyone you're abandoning your husband and child." I numbly examined the plastic stick. Could he actually? We did have that impulsive farewell hookup when we broke up. My back still ached 3 days afterward. The timeline matched. But this defied all biological laws. Shouldn't I be the pregnant one here? That's when I noticed red paint smudged on my fingers. The second line on the test now appeared half-faded. My head snapped up. Murder in my eyes. "Ethan, I'm going to kill you." I lunged at him. The college athlete easily trapped me against his chest with one arm. His grip firm yet familiar. His free hand tilted my chin up. "Caught me. Sweetheart. Still counts as me getting through your defenses. You're shameless." I struggled uselessly against his football-toned arms. "Don't want shame." His breath warmed my ear. "Want you." His grip tightened. "You ghosted me after that night. Didn't even give a proper breakup reason. Had to track you down through Alex." Guilt prickled my neck at the mention of my brother. "We weren't compatible." Ethan's laugh held edges. "Funny how compatible we felt when you were screaming my name." My ears burned crimson. When I stayed silent, his expression darkened. Several bitter chuckles vibrated through his chest. "Fine. I'll camp here until you talk." He settled deeper into my couch cushions. "We've got all the time in the world, Emma." He threatened to either get my reason for breaking up or get back together. I didn't want either option, slamming my bedroom door shut in frustration. God, I never should have gotten involved with him in the first place. Ethan was 6 years younger, a vibrant, free-spirited college student. We met through my brother Alex. That stubborn mule Alex had never admired anyone in his life. But after starting college, he wouldn't stop talking about his roommate Ethan. How he came from the Smith family money. Had 8-pack abs and a toned physique. Top of his class. Girls lining up for him. Yet he treated Alex like gold. After a while, I started worrying some creep had designs on my brother's ass. I marched straight to their campus. And holy hell, Alex wasn't exaggerating. His roommate was campus royalty, all long legs and untamed swagger. No reason this Adonis would glance twice at my meathead brother. Just as I turned to leave, Ethan jogged up, eyes blazing. "Hey Emma, can I get your number?" Like an idiot, I said yes. Then the pursuit began. The relentless energy of a younger guy chasing me was impossible to resist. Especially when those 8-pack abs came into play. I caved faster than a house of cards. We started hooking up behind my clueless brother's back. Whenever he wasn't training or in class, Ethan haunted my apartment. Clingier than saran wrap. Those months were all tangled limbs and whispered promises. I thought our little fling might actually last until Mrs. Smith showed up at my door. "Leave my son," she said without preamble. When I tried the whole love conquers all spiel, she smiled like I'd farted in church. "You're not suitable." The rock on her finger could have bought our entire shitty neighborhood. Yeah. No kidding. His family lived on Easy Street while mine scraped by on ramen noodles. I was replaying our steamier memories when the door clicked open. Warm lips found my neck before I could react. "Ethan, let go." I elbowed him hard. "Make me. We're broken up." "This is harassment." He nipped my ear. "Didn't agree to that. It's a notification, not a negotiation. Kiddo." His hand slid under my shirt. Missed you, Emma. That gravelly voice did things to me. Get out before You'll what? His chuckle vibrated against my spine. Call security? This is my place now. The bastard had bought out my lease. The moment his lips touched mine, my legs turned to jelly. My hands, which had been pushing him away, found their way around his neck. Half resisting, half yielding, we tumbled back into the sheets together. I woke the next morning to someone kissing me. Ethan was curled around me like an overgrown puppy, looking utterly pleased with himself. As reality seeped back, I abruptly kicked him off the bed. Meeting his dazed expression, I said coldly, "Get out. If there's a next time, I'll call the police." The boy sat on the floor staring at me in disbelief. Emma, last night was a mistake. I cut him off. If any other guy had kissed me, I wouldn't have refused either. So don't bother me again. Wouldn't want your little friends to walk in on something awkward. Ethan's lips pressed into a thin line, hurt flashing through his eyes. Proud young men don't take well to such dismissals. He dressed in stiff silence and stormed out, slamming the apartment door hard enough to rattle the walls. I mercilessly deleted all his contact information. Moved apartments again without telling my blabbermouth brother Alex. Yet he kept bringing Ethan up like some clueless puppy. During dinner at our parents' house weeks later, Alex sidled up to me. "Remember my roommate Ethan?" My chopsticks clattered against the plate. Vaguely. Dude's been acting like a walking freezer lately. We're taking him to this mixer tonight, figured some hot girls might thaw him out. The chopsticks slipped from my fingers. I retrieved them calmly. Good plan. Young people should explore options. Stop acting ancient. You're 25 and still get carded at bars. Alex protested. Such sweet talk earns you dishwashing duty. I smirked as he groaned. The bitter taste in my throat made my eyes sting. But I kept chewing mechanically. Throwing myself into work became my shield against accidental updates about Ethan's love life. Months later, a concerned coworker dragged me to a crowded restaurant. Mid-meal bathroom break led me to witness a pink-cheeked girl confessing to a familiar broad-shouldered figure. Our eyes locked across the hallway. My retreating footstep froze at Ethan's growl. "Take one more step, Emma, and see what happens." I didn't walk away. I outright bolted. Within seconds, someone yanked me back and pinned me against the wall. His shadow engulfed me, cutting off all escape routes. "Knew you'd run, little liar." Ethan's arms tightened around me, his face nuzzling into my hair with desperate possessiveness. The way he clung reminded me of those nights when he'd melt into me. All soft murmurs and breathless promises, utterly disarming. My cheeks burned crimson as I caught the wide-eyed stare of a nearby girl. "Don't misunderstand," I blurted, squirming in his hold. "Classmate. I'm his sister." The hostility in her expression faded slightly. "Sister?" Ethan scoffed, his lips quirking. Before I could react, he dipped his head, that reckless, showboating jerk, and angled for a kiss. I dug my nails into his arm hard enough to make him freeze mid-motion. A stranger's awkward cough broke the tension. You two mind taking this somewhere else?" The guy shuffled uncomfortably, gesturing down the cramped hallway. "Nature's calling, and you're blocking the path to the restroom." Ethan reluctantly released me. The second his grip loosened, I scrambled free and vanished into the crowded restaurant. Thank God our team's corner table stayed hidden. When I glanced back, Ethan stood frozen by the entrance, all 6'2" of him radiating stormy frustration, until Alex eventually coaxed him into a private room. My relief soured instantly. This mixer Alex kept hyping, Ethan had actually shown up. Plenty of girls his age here. Good. Maybe he'd finally move on from this, whatever we are. After parting ways with coworkers, I patted my pockets. No phone. Must have left it at the restaurant. cursing under my breath. I turned back, praying to avoid a certain someone. Of course. Ethan leaned against the entrance awning, disheveled and swaying. His lashes drooped over glassy eyes. One hand pressed to his stomach. The sight punched through my resolve. Stomachache? I sighed, stepping closer. His gaze snapped to mine, sharpening with startling clarity. Hurts like hell, he rasped, mouth curving despite the pain. Need your kiss to fix it. Drunk and still shameless. I rolled my eyes and immediately called my younger brother Alex. No answer. No surprise there, the kid was probably wasted too. I frowned at the guy now openly sliding his hand around my waist. If I take you back to your dorm, will someone be there to take care of you? Nobody. What about your roommate or classmates? They're pulling an all-nighter off campus. Then I'll take you to a hotel. I'm allergic to hotels. Break out in hives every time. Oh really? That never stopped you from dragging me to motels before. I bit my tongue. Where do you want to go then? He wrapped himself around me completely now, nuzzling his face into the crook of my neck like a spoiled child. Your place. Emma. I want to go to your place. To keep my ex from drunkenly choking on his own vomit. I hauled him home. The whole walk back. The guy who'd been too weak to stand moments ago kept scanning our surroundings. I let him memorize the route, worst case scenario. I'd move again. Play a little game of hide-and-seek with 3 backup apartments. Serve him right. When we entered my studio, Ethan's glassy eyes lit up. He started slurring every pet name we'd ever used, alternating between Emma, baby, sweetheart, that whiskey-rough voice making my ears burn. Regret flooded me. Should have left him in that gutter. Sighing, I settled him on my bed and began removing his shoes, gently wiping his face. The drunk boy's flushed cheeks and unfairly pretty features made my pulse stutter. Before I could stop myself, my finger grazed the bridge of his nose. If only we'd been born the same year. Maybe then I'd have the guts. I jerked my hand back, but Ethan caught my wrist. His eyes were suddenly clear, fixed on me with that infuriating smirk. You're lying, Emma. You're still crazy about me. Don't be ridiculous. I scoffed, tugging free, just swatting mosquitoes. He snorted, toying with my fingers in that maddening flirtatious way. Not falling for that. Someone's been in your ear. No. Was it Alex? Your parents? Neighbors? Co-workers? The playful tone hardened. Did my mom contact you? I closed my eyes in resignation. Having a sharp younger lover really wasn't my fault. But I didn't confirm anything. I couldn't predict how Ethan would react if I told the truth. Family bonds mattered. So did romantic love. 2 equally vital yet fundamentally different priorities. Whichever he chose would mean abandoning the other. I refused to force his hand. I was about to gently persuade him when I noticed his deep, even breathing. He'd passed out still clutching my hand, forehead slightly furrowed. Watching him sleep for several minutes, I finally extracted myself and retreated to the couch. Next morning I left for work before Ethan woke. All day I felt restless, wondering if he'd gotten up, if he'd missed class, if his hangover lingered. These mother hen instincts annoyed me. I need to stop worrying so much. Our relationship was over anyway. Returning home that evening, I noticed missing keys. A note on the coffee table read, "Sis." I took the keys. Well, crap. Should I move again? Checking my dwindling bank balance made my eyes water. This cat-and-mouse game was getting too expensive. Strangely, Ethan never reappeared despite taking my keys, completely out of character for his usual boldness. Maybe he'd finally accepted we were through. Then came Alex's 18th birthday. My brother started school early, making him a year younger than classmates. While Ethan had been experimenting with various protection brands at 19, Alex was still building Lego sets. The contrast between my ex and brother couldn't be starker. Our parents wanted to fund a proper celebration, but Alex declined knowing our financial strain. Instead, he invited friends for a cozy home-cooked meal. To prevent potential scenes, I casually asked the day before, "Your roommate's coming tomorrow?" Everyone except Ethan. He fought with his mom again and went home after class. I forced a chuckle. "Your roommate's rebellious phase?" Alex lowered his voice indignantly. "It's not rebellion, he's fighting his mom's fascist regime. The Smiths are loaded but crazy strict. She tried forcing him into some arranged marriage and business takeover plan." Ethan literally flipped the dinner table and walked out. Only backed off when she realized he'd rather wait tables than obey. My throat tightened. How long was he working jobs? Whole freshman year until right before you visited campus. We barely saw him sleep. Alex shook his head. Brutal to watch. My brother kept ranting, growing increasingly worked up before finally leaning against me with a pout. "Thank goodness Mom, Dad and you always gave me freedom. That's why I'm so happy." "You call that being carefree?" "More like clueless." I laughed, pushing him away while unease settled in my chest. I'd assumed Ethan was just another trust fund kid, no financial worries. No need to hustle. Someone who could afford to be reckless and flamboyant. He'd always maintained such a polished facade around me. Who knew he'd been shouldering the heaviest burdens? And I might have pushed him deeper into that fire. I wanted to call Ethan, but the risk of his mother intercepting the call and escalating family tensions stopped me. Fine. We'd talk properly when he returned to campus. The next day was Alex's birthday. As his sister, I went home early to help entertain his friends. The moment I stepped through the door, I spotted a handsome guy charming my mom by the kitchen island. Whatever sweet talk he was dishing out had her beaming like a mother-in-law approving of her son-in-law. Sensing my dumbstruck stare, the guy suddenly glanced up. His striking features seemed almost out of place in our cozy home. "You're back, sis." Ethan smiled. All polite innocence, none of his usual mischievous smirk. He looked oddly content. Had things gone smoothly with his mother? Or was this another act? I shot him a warning look across the room. He answered with a playful eyebrow raise. Mom remained oblivious to our silent exchange, dragging me off to greet guests. Our parents later excused themselves for a walk, not wanting the teenagers to feel awkward. Left playing hostess. I found myself surrounded by Alex's effusive classmates. Alex wasn't lying about having a hot sister. "Well, just sit with us. We'll get our own drinks." "Stop calling her that. She's my sister." I patted my flustered brother's head, making small talk with the group. When they suggested post-dinner games, I hesitated until familiar fingers brushed against mine under the table, that habitual reassuring squeeze. "Play with us, sis," Ethan drawled along with the chorus. I pretended nonchalance despite burning ears. He'd somehow maneuvered right beside me, our joined hands safely hidden beneath the tablecloth. Throughout dinner, I maintained careful distance only for Ethan to sabotage my efforts, constantly serving me food. Peeling shrimp, immediately offering water when I coughed. The obvious attention made Alex blink between us in confusion. "Since when are you and Ethan so close?" I cleared my throat, scrambling for an explanation. Emma and I hit it off immediately. Like kindred spirits." "Exactly, love at first sight totally counts." I nodded eagerly. Alex tried to ask more, but other classmates called him away. Relieved, I stealthily pinched Ethan's arm. The guy didn't even flinch, still lazily bumping his knee against mine under the table. After dinner cleanup, I joined their drinking game, classic truth or dare with a spinning bottle. What started as awkward soon turned rowdy with liquid courage. Thank God the neighbors had moved out, we'd have gotten noise complaints otherwise. Ethan kept watching me as I laughed at their antics. Suddenly the bottle pointed at me. "Emma." A red-faced sophomore scratched his neck. "Truth or dare?" Truth. Great. So. He leaned forward. Do you still love your ex? Alex snorted. My sisters never dated anyone. If some guy existed, I'd have beaten him to pulp already. Actually. My whisper cut through the laughter. I have. My brother's jaw dropped. Under twin laser stares. I slowly answered. Yes. I still love him. Someone beside me exhaled a soft, triumphant chuckle. While Alex gaped, our guests erupted in knowing giggles. The bottle spun again, landing on Ethan. Truth. Same question. Man. Still hung up on your ex? I stared at my knees. Ears burning. Damn right. Ethan drawled. All lazy confidence. If I weren't underage, I'd have married that girl at City Hall yesterday. The room exploded in ape-like hollers. Everyone remembered his moping phase. Nobody expected this level of devotion. Cheeks flaming, I fled to the bathroom claiming bladder emergency. At the sink, my pulse still raced. I'd actually admitted it. And Ethan? Planning weddings at 18? After this party, we needed to talk. Mostly about why he'd fought with his mom this time. If he chose family, I would let him go completely. If he chose me, I'd fight to pull him out of this mess. My thoughts were swirling when the bathroom door creaked open. Before I could look up to say occupied, strong arms wrapped around me from behind. Large hands covered mine under the running faucet. Our fingers tangling in a way that made my cheeks burn. Ethan. I hissed, pulse racing as his citrus cologne enveloped us. What if someone sees? The billionaire air nuzzled my neck, his laughter vibrating against my skin. Let them. Since when is washing hands with my fiancé a crime? Stop being shameless. I squirmed, but he calmly tore paper towels to pat our hands dry. When Ethan turned me to face him, his hazel eyes held uncharacteristic gravity. Emma. I meant every word earlier. My gaze darted to the marble tiles. Which part? All of it. The marriage proposal. Loving you. The Smith family drama. His thumb brushed my engagement ring. Mom's interference changes nothing. I bit my lip. But your mother will come around. His confidence felt like warm sunlight. Dad's midlife crisis broke her. 20 years ago when she stormed into that motel room expecting some gold digger. The memory twisted his features. 12-year-old Ethan had witnessed his steel magnate mother crumble upon finding his father with a frumpy widow 6 years her senior. You've got terrible taste. Young Ethan had deadpanned, watching his father shield the trembling woman. The scandalous divorce left Mrs. Smith paranoid. She armored Ethan in trust funds and surveillance, banning any woman over 25 from his orbit. Until last month's gala, where I'd spilled champagne on his Brioni suit. Mom's trauma isn't our future. Ethan's palm cradled my face. She'll see you're different. That I'm not dad. My throat tightened. The icy socialite who'd offered me $5 million to disappear suddenly made sense. Maybe I should stay. His kiss tasted like resolve and spearmint gum. Let me handle the boardroom coups and inheritance battles. You just keep being my lucky charm. The bathroom handle rattled. Ethan smirked against my lips. $10 says that's Alex betting on our make-up sex. I shoved his chest, laughing despite myself. The man could turn existential crises into inside jokes. As footsteps retreated, Ethan's playful mask slipped. Seriously, Em. His forehead pressed to mine. Trust me? In that moment, with his heartbeat syncing with mine, I did. Since he was being so brave, I had to stay by his side. Okay. Whatever you say. Good girl. Emma. Let's kiss. Ethan lowered his head, his voice hoarse. I obediently nestled in his arms, tilting my head up to meet his lips. Just as he lifted me onto the bathroom counter, the door slammed open with a bang. Dazed, I turned to meet Alex's shocked expression. My vision darkened. Great, the entire situation had devolved into absolute chaos. Alex finally snapped out of his stupor, pointing trembling fingers at us. What the hell are you two doing? Ethan. I thought we were bros. You're hitting on my sister? No wonder you kept asking about her, you scheming bastard. Ethan calmly wiped my lips before shooting Alex an annoyed glance. Learn to knock next time. Don't interrupt your sister and me. Alex looked ready to combust. I shoved Ethan. Shut it. Stop pouring gasoline on the fire. Since when is our brother so delicate? Alex started grinding his teeth like a rabid raccoon. I quickly dragged him to his room for a sibling heart-to-heart. We'd always been close, hell. I practically raised him more than Mom did. Now dating his roommate made everything awkward. So, don't. Alex's face turned stormier than a Midwest tornado warning. Break up. Wait. What about your ex? He suddenly barked. I fiddled with my nails. Cheeks flushing. Same guy. We had a fight before. Alex went statue still. So he's your tragic ex. And you're the reason he moped around campus? And you moved across town because of him? You're acting out some toxic on again off again rom-com bullshit? I'm just collateral damage in your twisted relationship games? Normally I'd smack him for that tone. But today I took pity. We like each other. That's all. How long? 6 months. Alex snorted violently before rummaging through his desk. What are you doing? Getting my pocket knife. Gonna stab him. After the party guests left, I sent our parents to bed and started cleaning with Alex. Ethan stayed to help. The jerk was practically whistling while he worked. Alex spent the entire evening side-eyeing him like a disgruntled watchdog, while Ethan kept accidentally bumping into him and smirking. My brother, Alex, kept throwing tantrums so often that when I was about to head back to the rental apartment with Ethan, he followed us. He glared coldly. Ethan, don't even think about taking advantage of my sister. Sis, we're both sleeping on your couch tonight. Me, who'd been looking forward to quality time with my boyfriend, Ethan, who'd planned to stay up all night with me. What can you do with a stubborn kid? Spoil him rotten. So I brought home 2 sulky college athletes. Their moods darker than storm clouds. I went to freshen up first, leaving the 2 guys staring daggers at each other across the couch. At bedtime, Alex curled up on one end of the sofa while Ethan sat rigidly on the other, 2 stubborn mules in a standoff. Exasperated, I simply shut my bedroom door. Let Ethan clean up his own mess. Around midnight, the bed dipped suddenly, turning over. I found Ethan wearing his grumpiest expression while whining softly, "Your brother's such a pain. Don't talk about him like that." Fine. Fine. But since he's asleep now, can I kiss my wife? We barely leaned in when the door burst open. Alex stood silhouetted in the doorway like a vengeful ghost. What's going on here? That split second, I swear I saw every curse word in the English language flash across Ethan's face. Even his thick skin couldn't handle kissing me in front of my brother. He slunk away like a scolded puppy while Alex snorted triumphantly. The next morning, I cornered my yawning boyfriend. Stop provoking him at school. What if he insists on cutting ties with you? Ethan stole a quick kiss. Relax. By tomorrow I'll have him willingly calling me brother-in-law and leaving us alone. I thought he was just venting. Yet the next day, they showed up at my place together. Alex trailed behind Ethan like a deflated balloon, all his fiery spirit drained. What happened? Ethan smiled smugly. He challenged me to basketball all afternoon. And? Complete wipeout. Now he accepts our relationship. Alex muttered, not accepts. Just won't object. If you two break up again, I'll definitely object. Though still prickly, Alex stopped picking fights with Ethan. They resumed their usual routine of attending classes and hanging out at the dorm. After much hesitation, I finally told my parents everything. They simply blinked. That tall handsome boy from last time? Yes. Mom smiled. Good. If he makes you happy, we're happy. I've always liked him. Dad waved it off, saying it was my decision. That night, Ethan showed up hauling enough gourmet groceries to feed an army. Emma had mastered the art of sweet-talking elders with thoughtful gestures and flattering words. Though my brother Alex clearly hated it, he reluctantly chimed in to help boost her approval rating. The family gathering hummed with warmth until Mrs. Smith reappeared at our doorstep, her diamond ring alone worth more than our entire block. I maintained composure despite my legs shaking like maple leaves in a storm. Mrs. Smith's piercing gaze swept over me, revealing the same aristocratic features that made Ethan's charming rogue look so devastatingly effective. Not that I'd ever call his mother roguish, the woman radiated tragic elegance like a modern-day Miss Havisham. Emma, she began, inspecting her manicure. Yale graduate. McKinsey consultant by 25. Spotless reputation. Quite the catch. I gulped. Thank you. My son possesses the arrogance of old money, the temperament of a caged panther, and enough possessive tendencies to make Freud rewrite his textbooks. Her pearl necklace caught the light as she leaned forward. Do you truly believe you can handle that? Relief flooded me. At least she wasn't sliding a seven-figure check across the table. Absolutely. I smiled. His intensity is part of why I love him. Admirable. Her laugh sounded like crystal shattering. And when he inevitably strays? Let's say, 6 months after the wedding? The question hung like sword of Damocles. Then I'll walk away. I stated calmly. No second chances. Mrs. Smith's composure faltered for the first time. Most girls swear he'd never cheat. People change. I shrugged. But the memories stayed beautiful. That's enough for me. Silence stretched between us like Fifth Avenue at dawn. Just as I considered quoting Brené Brown. Mrs. Smith's glacial demeanor cracked into something resembling approval. Wisdom beyond your years. She conceded, rising with regal grace. Though I'd prefer not to become a grandmother before Ethan finishes his MBA. Are we clear? Heat flooded my cheeks. See, Crystal. She paused at the door, back straight as a ballerina's. Women float through life like ghosts, daddy's girl, wife, mother, never truly belonging anywhere until we dissolve into the wind. The thought made me unexpectedly sad. Later, when picking Ethan up from Columbia, I recounted the encounter. His smirk could power Times Square billboards. Mother's finally met her match. He chuckled, fingers tracing my jawline. What else did she ask? About your future infidelity. Please. He scoffed, pressing me against his Porsche. I'd sooner cut off my right arm. Confident. Aren't we? I teased, breath catching as his lips brushed my ear. With you? His laugh vibrated against my skin. It's not confidence. It's basic self-preservation. The kiss that followed made Wall Street bankers honk in approval. Somewhere, I suspected Mrs. Smith was smiling through her Chanel sunglasses. My brother mentioned a girl confessed to you today. Made quite a scene. Ethan grabbed my hand in front of everyone, walking confidently through campus. Let me be clear, I have a girlfriend. She only needs to bring $200 to our wedding. His bluntness stung, yet warmth bloomed in my chest as I pressed closer, our shoulders brushing on the way to our apartment. By the way, how did you answer when my mom asked that question? I shrugged. Told her I bolted. His jaw tightened before he captured my lips in a searing kiss. I'd never cheat. Not when I'm crazy about you. Easy for you to say. I teased. You fell for me at first sight, pure lust. Ethan scoffed, breath warm against my ear. Wrong. Emma. I've known you way longer. This was always inevitable. Confused. I demanded details. But he only smirked. Stay up with me tonight and I'll tell you. Ethan's POV. The dorm erupted when I walked in. Alex. You traitor. Matt body slammed my roommate against the gaming chair. Ditching our ranked match because your sister called? My promotion's ruined. Cut me some slack. Guys. Alex laughed through the headlock. Tyler snatched Alex's phone, waving it triumphantly. We'll forgive you if we see her photos. Come on, Ethan. Check this out. I ambled over, already smiling. Everyone knew about Alex's legendary sister, the straight-A student who sent care packages weekly. Just one picture. Alex groaned but swiped open his gallery. My breath caught. The girl smiling back from sunset-lit library shelves was my rainy day angel. Flashback 18 and drenched in independence. I dragged my suitcase through the train station downpour 2 years prior. A voice cut through the storm static. Take my umbrella. She pressed the polka-dotted handle into my palm, college sweatshirt damp. Smile brighter than the lightning above. Get home safe. I stood frozen as she vanished into the crowd, unaware she just handed me my future. A gentle female voice spoke above me. Then an umbrella was shoved into my hand. When I looked up, I only caught a girl's profile, slender neck peeking from soft long hair. Pale and beautiful enough to haunt my memories for years. After Mom passed, I still wandered through that train station occasionally. Never saw her again. Turned out she was my roommate's older sister, Emma Johnson. I smirked. I started treating Alex well, fishing for more details about his sister through him. Just as I planned to manufacture an excuse to meet Emma, she showed up first. Didn't know what misunderstanding she had, but those wary eyes tracked my every move around Alex. Oh, she didn't remember me. Thought I was after her brother. Fine. I'd make her relearn me. When Alex wasn't looking, I chased her down. Hey Emma, can I get your phone number? Surprise flickered across her face before she nodded. Never pursued anyone before, but I gave her all my patience. Played to my strengths, leaned into my looks when she stared. Faked vulnerability when needed. Sometimes felt like a damn smooth talking guy. Watched her shift from polite distance to shy blushes. When I finally kissed her, she didn't pull away. My chest felt full enough to burst. Every day with her was golden. Loved her sleep-must mornings. How her hands kneaded my sore muscles after training. Even her soft scoldings fell harder each week. If the law allowed, I would have dragged her to the city hall ages ago. Was fantasizing about post-graduation wedding plans when she ghosted after our last night together. Empty apartment. Vanished like smoke. Gritting my teeth, I casually asked Alex later, heard there's a creep around happiness community. Alex's eyes widened. Shit. Really? My sister lives there. Better tell her to move. I offered helpfully. He grinned. She just relocated to Fifth Avenue complex. Lucky timing. I smiled. Found you, Emma. Eventually realized Mom must have interfered. Called her. Got an earful about proper relationships. Drove home to confront her. Why approach her? Mom's face twisted. She's 6 years older. Clearly some woman with loose morals trying to corrupt you like your father. You're my only hope, can't let that woman make you fall behind. My knuckles whitened around the doorframe. All this time running from being that woman's son, only to have history repeat. But this time, I'd choose differently. I looked at Mom's contorted face and said calmly, Mom, you're being kind of terrifying. She froze, then immediately tried to regain her usual composure. But I mercilessly tore through the facade she'd maintained for years. Your failed marriage wasn't your fault, it was Dad's. You've built this public image as a successful, independent woman. Why keep clinging to the past? Dad's nowhere near your league anymore. You should be celebrating. I leaned forward, my voice steady. Mom, I'm not Dad. I love Emma openly and unapologetically. You can't stop this. What you really need to do is free yourself from whatever's still chaining you to those old ghosts. She stood motionless, the tension in her shoulders gradually melting into something resembling relief. I couldn't tell if my words truly landed until I noticed the way her designer handbag slipped from her death grip to dangle casually at her side. In that moment, she didn't just hear me, she finally heard herself. The corporate ice queen thought enough to release us both from decades of unspoken expectations. Her quiet exhale sounded suspiciously like chains breaking. Thank you all for the company, your support fuels my passion for sharing these sweet romance stories. See you next time.